What are NFT? Do they have value? Do people actually use NFTs? I think those three questions are absolutely essential to understand NFTs, and I'm going to cover them in this video. What are NFT? To answer that question, first of all, I'm going to do a very quick recap about what is blockchain, and you can see my other video where I explain this in more detail here. So blockchain is a way to secure data so that it's both public and secure. So the best way basically to keep data secure and safe is to hide it. If nobody can access your data, you have no risk that this data will be altered. But when you want to share information, especially online, it becomes vulnerable. The big innovation with blockchain is that we are able to make this data visible and secured at the same time. NFTs exist on a blockchain, and they are a way to represent digital ownership. How so? NFT means non-fungible token. Token means it exists on a blockchain and it represents ownership of something digital, because when you own the token in a wallet, it means that you own something digital. So that represents ownership. And non-fungible is a very interesting characteristic of NFT. It makes those tokens basically unique. Something that is non-fungible, for instance, would be a piece of art. A Picasso painting is non-fungible because if you take two Picasso paintings together, you don't have a sum of those two, you have something different. If you take two banknotes, let's say of 10 euro each, together they are worth 20 euro. So banknotes are fungible. And NFTs, they have this characteristic of being non-fungible. Therefore, they are a way to represent ownership of something that is unique. Let me give you an example of an NFT that we heard a lot and that actually completely changed the way we see NFT. So last year, in 2021, in September, Dolce Gabbana launched a NFT sales of digital clothes. So half of the NFTs came also with a physical piece of garment, but half of them didn't come with a piece of garment, so they were solely digital. And guess what? They sold those 9 NFT for almost $5 million at that time. This completely changed the way NFT was perceived, because since then, people started to think, oh, maybe they have value. Do NFT have value, actually? That's a very good question. If we look at some NFT sales, we see that they were sold at crazy price. For instance, the first very big NFT sale was the sale of the artwork from Beeple from $69 million. And this is actually a very significant amount because it's the third biggest sale of an artwork by a living artist. And if we look at other examples, so CryptoPunks, which are basically some kind of avatars, very simplified, they were sold around $10 million for some of them. And even membership of a club called Bored Ape Yacht Club was sold for $26 million. So yes, those NFTs seem to have value, or at least they have value for some people. And if we look in terms of transaction, it's been actually crazy, especially in the year 2021. And for the third quarter of 2021, the transactions of NFT were around $6 billion of transaction. What makes their value? Especially now, because we are now at mid 2022, and it seems that a lot of those prices have been going down. And actually, my explanation of what makes those digital items have value are 4 elements. One of them, they are tradable, and they are tradable freely because of this characteristic of the fact that they are a token on a blockchain. Another characteristic that gives them value is the fact that they are unique. This characteristic of being non-fungible. So once you buy something which is, let's, for instance, a CryptoPunk, this is an absolutely unique token representing digital ownership of this image. Another thing that makes them have value is the fact that you can track the provenance. Basically, you can be sure when you have NFT that it comes from a genuine source because you can track on the blockchain where it came from, if it's on the right smart contract, for instance. And one last thing, and I think all these elements are very similar to the elements that make art also valuable, and this last also. So basically, it became a kind of new asset class, interesting in terms of speculation, and also by being a new asset class, it had also different characteristics in terms of tax, and also one characteristic that blockchain has, which is pseudonymity. So potentially, some people use this kind of way of investing pseudonymously as something that was interesting for them from a tax point of view. Do people actually use NFT? This is a very important question to ask because this is very linked to the fact that they actually have value. And actually, I computed some figures and I realized that unfortunately very few people use NFT. If you look at the number of people who have a wallet that use NFT, it's 20 times less people than the number of people that own a VR headset. And if we compare this to the people who own a gaming console, actually, if you have 1,600 people that own a gaming console, you have only one that will own a NFT wallet. The adoption is still very low, despite the fact that a lot of celebrities actually launched their own NFT or were buying NFT publicly. We have, for instance, Snoop Dogg that is very well known for being very active in the NFT space. You have Elijah Wood, you also have like Mike Tyson, for instance, or Steve Aoki. So all these celebrities have actually participated actively in buying or selling NFTs. And the topic has been very trending. If we compare it to Elon Musk in terms of Google Trends, NFT was much higher, which is amazing when you think about it. But the adoption still remains quite low. So why is adoption still so low? Actually, my personal opinion is that the main reason is that it's just different to use a crypto wallet. It's different from the way that we use internet. So for instance, on internet, you will have a login with your email and a password. And if you forget your password, you always have a link on which you can click, on which if you click on it, you will receive via email a new link to regenerate your password, so you're never lost, basically. The problem with a crypto wallet is that it doesn't work like that. So basically, the way it works is that you have a public key, which is the key of your wallet on which you can receive something, and you have a private key that matches this public key, and only if you own this private key, you can sell, give, or do whatever you want with what you own on your wallet or with your NFT. And the thing is, like in crypto, you are supposed to own this private key yourself. So there are ways to make it a little bit more simple, like having words that you write on a paper that corresponds to this private key. But still, if you lose them, nobody on earth will be able to recover your NFT or whatever crypto you own on this wallet. And this is not more difficult. That's what I always say to my clients. It's not a more difficult way of using internet. It's just very different to the way we are using it now. And my opinion is that it's the key reason why the adoption of NFT is still rather low. So I hope that now you better understand this topic, this fascinating topic of NFT. And again, if you have questions, you can ask them in the comment section. And do not forget to subscribe.